Welcome back, everyone. Last time, we witnessed one of the most dramatic family reunions in history. Joseph, once sold into slavery by his own brothers, forgave them and brought his entire family to Egypt. But what happened next? Did everything stay perfect? Spoiler alert, it didn't. Today, we dive deeper into Joseph's story and see how it all connects to the next great chapter in history. Moses. Imagine you're an old man, over 100 years old. You've lived your whole life in one land, and suddenly, your long-lost son invites you to start fresh in a foreign country. What would you do?
Egypt. The land of Pharaoh. Should I really take my family there?
Jacob.
Here I am.
Do not be afraid to go to Egypt. I will make your descendants a great nation there. I will go with you and bring you back again. And Joseph will be with you when you die.
Whoa, talk about reassurance. God himself just confirmed that moving to Egypt was part of his plan. With that, Jacob had his answer. And so, with God's promise in his heart, Jacob set off with his entire family, leaving behind the land of Canaan, the place where Abraham and Isaac had lived, headed straight for Egypt. And just like that, Joseph ran. Yes, ran. Straight to meet his father. Now imagine this moment. Years of separation, pain, and uncertainty, all washed away in one embrace.
Now I am ready to die, since I have seen you alive.
For years, Jacob thought Joseph was gone forever. But here he was, alive and well, and not just any man. He was second in command of Egypt. And just like that, Jacob and his family moved to Goshen, where they lived in peace under Joseph's protection. But was this the end of their story? Not even close. Years passed, and Jacob's family flourished in Egypt. But time waits for no one, and Jacob knew his journey was nearing its end. Now, tradition says the firstborn, Manasseh, should receive the greater blessing. But watch closely. Jacob is about to do something surprising.
Ephraim will be greater than his brother. His descendants will become a mighty nation.
Wow, once again, the younger brother receives the greater blessing. Just like when Jacob himself was chosen over Esau. So Jacob gave his prophecies.
Simeon and Levi, you are violent men. Because of your anger, your descendants will be scattered. But Judah, your brothers will praise you. The scepter will never depart from your tribe.
Oh, those two got a warning. Judah's blessing was big. It meant his descendants would rule over Israel, and guess what? King David and even Jesus came from Judah's line. And so, Joseph honored his father's final wish, traveling all the way to Canaan to bury him in the land of his ancestors. But after Jacob was gone, a new problem arose. Oh boy, here we go again. The brothers were panicking, thinking Joseph had only been nice because Jacob was alive.
Don't be afraid. You planned evil against me, but God turned it into something good. I will take care of you and your families. You have nothing to fear.
Wow, even after everything, Joseph still chooses forgiveness. And just like that, Joseph kept his promise, protecting his family for the rest of his life.
One day, God will bring you out of this land and back to Canaan. When that time comes, take my bones with you.
Wait, what? Joseph didn't want his body to stay in Egypt. No, he knew God's promise, that one day, Israel would return home, and so, the great journey of Joseph ended. But a new chapter was about to begin. A chapter that would shake Egypt, challenge Pharaoh, and change the world forever. Stay tuned, because what happens next is just the beginning. Time passed, generations were born, and Joseph, he became a legend, a name from the past. His family, the Israelites, had grown into a mighty nation within Egypt, but history has a way of changing things.
I keep hearing about these Israelites. Who are they?
Your Majesty, they are foreigners, descendants of Joseph and his family. They have lived here for generations.
Joseph? Never heard of him.
What? The Pharaoh had no idea who Joseph was? The man who saved Egypt? The man who led during the famine? Just forgotten?
There are too many of them. If war comes, they might turn against us. We cannot let them grow any stronger.
Your Majesty, if we don't act now, they may overthrow us one day.
And just like that, fear took over. Instead of seeing the Israelites as neighbors, as fellow human beings, the Pharaoh saw them as a threat. The Israelites were no longer guests. They were no longer free. Pharaoh made them his slaves.
Keep working.
Oh, I am tired.
Faster. If you stop, you will feel my whip.
Bricks, stones, whips, chains. The Israelites worked from sunrise to far past sunset. No rest, no mercy. This was their new life. Slaves, workers, property.
Son, never forget, God promised Abraham our people would become a great nation.
But how? How could they be a great nation when they were treated like nothing? Had God forgotten them?
Your Majesty, the Israelites are still multiplying, even under slavery.
Then we must break them completely.
The suffering wasn't over. No, it was just the beginning. Joseph's story had come to an end, but this was only the beginning of something greater. God's promises never fail, even when the situation looks impossible, even when the enemy is too strong, even when it feels like God is silent. The Israelites didn't know it yet, but someone was coming, someone who would stand up to Pharaoh, someone who would demand their freedom, someone who would change everything, a baby named Moses. What a ride, right? Joseph's story led us here, to the edge of history. But don't worry, we're just getting started. What was your favorite moment from Joseph's journey? How do you think God was working behind the scenes? Are you ready for Moses' story? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what happens next.